Now, according to a JSO, they say that earlier this morning they detained 2 other people and brought them back to JSO headquarters for questioning. However, they did not share the relationship between those 2 people and Chalet at this time. Well, Brody, it's been more than 12 hours since that initial call to 911 where Corey Sweeney threatened to kill his mom, and the neighbors here in the area, they heard not only that initial argument that then had officers there, but they were here for the entire standoff and how it ended with 2 officers shooting Sweeney in the leg. Here's the thing, right now this morning in St. Augustine, you see all this room on the sidewalk. Well, this is not the norm for your typical Nights of Light. Tamara Leland saw chaos unfold as she was walking here during a mass shooting that forever set the tone of last semester. She and her classmates are coming back to school for their first day, hoping for a fresh start and also noticing some major security changes.
And she got a chance to speak with one of those 6 heroes who intervened in the shooting, and everybody's saying that they saved lives.
That's right, Jeannie. Specifically, the Secretary of the Army says that the collection of law enforcement to the 6 soldiers that were awarded today all saved each other's lives in that shooting that happened here yesterday at Fort Stewart. Disney World, images emerging of the smoke and fire that filled Epcot on Saturday. These videos taken by guests show the smoke around the France Pavilion in the park's Showcase of Nations section. The Buckman Bridge this morning, and I actually drove on this yesterday. I was waiting in traffic for about 15 to 20 minutes extra to get to my destination as we're trying to drive across this construction park. First Coast News has taken the time to honor Harvey Branch, who, after he served in the Army, came back to his hometown of Baldwin, Florida, to then become a law enforcement officer. And now he's spending his entire retirement taking care of his old high school, which is right in his own backyard. It's a walk Harvey Branch hasn't skipped in 39 years.
My first door, usually I come in this gate, it's this door down here. I usually come in and check in.
Students and staff at Baldwin Middle Senior High School know Harvey as Mr. Branch.
This is my first door.
The resident police officer.
That's all I have to do is check it, make sure it's locked. They definitely know who I am. Most of the kids do.
Securing the same halls he walked through as a student back in the 1960s.
No, I enjoyed school, but I just decided one day I was going to join the Army, and I did.
Barely 18, Harvey traded in books for Army boots. Little did he know he would be leaving Baldwin to walk the battlefields on the other side of the world.
What was it like seeing Vietnam from the cockpit?
It was different. That's the only way you can explain Vietnam. It was different. Everywhere you went in the country, it didn't look the same. As you were in one spot, it looked one way. When you go to another spot, even though it might be identical, it didn't look the same. I started flight school a month late, and I ended flight school a month early because the general sent me to Vietnam for the advanced party.
Leaving his mom to hold down the fort back at Baldwin, not sure when he would see her again.
The general I flew, he sent me to flight school. He took me to Vietnam with him, and he told me the day we landed over there, you're not going home until I do. And 22 months later, I went home one day after him.
Just for Harvey to do another 4 tours in Korea, all in the same AH-1 Cobra helicopter.
Why did you say no?
I didn't want to go to Korea 5 times. That's too many. That's too long to stay dead.
He decided to go back to his alma mater, the starting place of his call to service.
But at least I had enough sense to go back and finish my education. That's the main thing.
His background in military intelligence shined after he retired his Army uniform and began wearing a police badge.
You started working as a police officer. Was your goal to be the police chief of Baldwin?
Not really. I just enjoyed the job. And I was here about 2 years, and I made assistant chief. I was the first elected chief in the town of Baldwin.
Protecting his hometown for 2 decades, his call to service led to creating his now daily habit, patrolling his high school. The first stop on his lifetime full of adventures and the catalyst of Harvey's first mission. 60 years later, he's still protecting his community.
My job is more than just checking the door. If I can keep one of these kids from getting in trouble, that's what I'm here for. And hopefully, they'll pay attention to what you tell them.
Protecting the next generation of first responders acts as his motivation for making laps every evening.
So, Harvey, on behalf of First Coast News and everyone who nominated you, I would be honored to present to you one of the 12 Who Care Award for your service, not only as a security officer here in Baldwin, but all of your years that you served in the Army and as Chief of Police and Assistant Chief. And
Thank you very much.
yeah, it's our pleasure. No, thank you, and thank you so much for your service.
It's beautiful. That'll go on my shelf with no problem.
Perfect.
I see a perfect place for it already.
Incredible.
Of course, my wife may change my mind.
Many families are trying to coordinate a visit this holiday season to here, the Folkestone Ice Processing Facility. For Jan, she says the hardest time in her life has been watching her own cousin, Jakub Ira Vehandre, live in the Folkestone Ice Processing Center for now over 2 months. And seeing the conditions for herself has made her miss him even more, especially during the holiday season. It was through an Instagram post that Jan found out her cousin was detained, immediately trying to get answers and get in contact with him, which took 2 weeks even to get a response. After paying for every call and message, she traveled to Folkestone to see him in person, realizing it would be a 3-hour wait just to be able to sit with Jakub for an hour and notice other families waiting in long lines at the vending machines to buy their loved ones clean water and snacks. Things that she says her cousin Jakub does not have access to inside the center, adding this has become the norm for many families every week during the center's limited visiting hours.
You have families that are like separated from their children, and yet the children only have like 1 hour every week, 1 to 2 hours every week to just like sit on their father's lap.
As for the next time Jan will get to talk to Jakub, she says she doesn't know. She says even trying to schedule a call with him is difficult due to the unclear scheduling inside of the processing center. However, she says that she's anxiously waiting for that next phone call and is looking forward to picking up and hearing his voice again, especially during the holidays. Here in Folkestone, Claire Alfree, First Coast News, on your side. The Southside parking garage here at the Jacksonville International Airport is now a construction zone after a unanimous vote from the board of directors agreed to invest $38 million for completely renovating the parking garage after the fire last month. JAA officials are estimating a loss of 500 spots due to the south side of the garage remaining closed post-fire. And over the past 24 hours, their total cars left behind in the rubble went from 18 down to 3, leaving behind the BMW L3 that caught fire and the cars to the left and right of that vehicle. The investigation of the cause is still underway, and one major thing JAA is still sorting out is how the multiple companies like the BMW car manufacturer or the valet company involved are going to be held financially accountable.
We don't have any specifics on how the breakout of who's going to be paying for what, but we want to get that back obviously as quickly as we can to regroup all of those spaces that we lost during this period, because it's going to be, rough estimate, a year and a half to get it back to operational.
JAA adds that this is the most damaging accident that has happened in the airport's history. However, they said that they're considering retrofitting their current and future garages for sprinklers. However, they haven't decided if they're going to move forward with those blueprints just yet. Here in Jacksonville, Claire Alfree, First Coast News on your side.